Okay. Hello, this is Dr. Hugo Gonzales, clinical psychologist, and our YouTube program, Insight. Today, we have a new addition to our team at Terapia Internacional. We have Vivian with us, and thank you for giving us a little bit of your time and seeing your clients in order to talk a little bit more about some of the issues that affect Chinese and Malaysian community. So, but first of all, maybe I would like you to introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, Vivian.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hugo. Hello, everyone. My name is Vivian. I'm a counseling psychologist at Malaysia, based in Malaysia, and I'm a registered and licensed counselor in Malaysia.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so Vivian, I had a couple of queries that are of interest for our audience. The first one is, what are the main mental health issues that Malaysian people will experience?
Okay. The most common mental health issues in Malaysia are depressions and anxieties. These two are the most common one. And recently, we have a few suicidal cases on newspaper where a very young girl committed suicide because of depressions. So this is very common in Malaysia.
All right. Yeah. Whenever it happens anywhere across the world, no? Yeah. So I guess that also indicates that there is some stigma in relation to all mental health issues. Can you tell me a little bit more whether there is a strong stigma against mental illness in Malaysia?
Yeah. In Malaysia, there is still stigma regarding to mental health, where people think that when you seek help, if you are sick or you have mental health issues and you seek help, it's a sign of your weakness.
Right.
And they think you are crazy. Only you go and seek help from a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Yeah.
And there is also a lack of awareness regarding where to seek help. What are the services available? Like, if I have depressions, should I go to psychologist? Should I go to counselor, or should I go to psychiatrist? They don't know how to differentiate all these professionals' roles. So it's also a lack of information in here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If when we have the client already in therapy, what are the preferences of Chinese people, for example? Do Chinese prefer directive or non-directive approaches in psychotherapy?
Okay, I see. It's actually very hard to generalize what are their preference, because Chinese or Asian in Malaysia, they are still very different, although they are from the same society, because their family background, their upbringing, which shapes their different cultural belief, and different experiences. So some of the Chinese may prefer directive approach. Maybe they are from a more open-minded family background, then they might be able to accept a directive approach. But with people that came from a traditional family, they might prefer a non-directive approach.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much for that. And also, because Malaysia is still a very collectivistic kind of society, how do families and communities assist people who are experiencing mental illness?
Okay. Yeah, as Dr. Hugo said, Malaysia, it's very much of a collectivism society. So family can come into the picture by educating themselves, how they can be a support for people that has depressions or anxieties. And communities, we do have a lot of helpline, care line that provide emotional support. For example, we have Befriender here that help with people that is suicidal. They can have all this emotional support. And aside from Befrienders, we also have a lot of hairline that came from different religions.
Okay, yeah, that's right. The other question I wanted to ask you is how therapies or psychotherapies from Western cultures can work best with people from Eastern cultures, such as Malaysian.
How Western can work with Eastern, right?
That's right. Yes, yeah. How psychotherapies from Western cultures may work best with people from Eastern culture background.
I see. I think Western culture can apply to Eastern because we do adopt a lot of psychotherapies theories from the Western cultures. However, when we come to applications to Eastern cultures, I think we need to be aware of the cultural differences. For example, Western is more towards individualisms, but in Eastern cultures, we are more towards collectivism. And also maybe the words that we use, because for Western, some words can be very, sounds casual, but when it comes to Eastern, they might be a bit sensitive to some particular words. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Vivian, I forgot to ask you, you are a counseling psychologist who has been working in Malaysia. However, I think that for our audience, our potential clients here in Australia or across the world, I was wondering whether what languages do you speak?
Okay, I do speak English and I do speak Mandarin, and I do speak a little bit of Cantonese and Malay as well.
Okay. Well, that is going to be very, very useful for our clients. And I think that that's certainly, even though that Western psychotherapies can work with Eastern cultures, I think that what is also really, really important is that clients can talk with their psychologists in their native language.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Vivian, for this time and this opportunity to meet you and to talk.
Thank you.
Have this opportunity to have this conversation, and for all those in our community who Terapia Internacional and COP Center, please free to make a booking with Vivian. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hugo.
Okay, bye.
Bye.